Oh, there's Lacretia. Oh, she's coming in. Sorry, I'm like, I'm starting the stream. Oops, girl. I started the stream already. Oops. Hello, everybody. Lacretia's coming on as we started the stream. I was like, oopsie, as we come on. But she knows what to do. She's been on the show many times. Hello, this is James Bree Spotlight. She knows what's going on. And welcome on JLJ Media. Yes, I'm going to set up the chat room, make sure it's going. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We're back, yes. I got to explain to you guys what's going on. But we are back today. I hope everybody's okay and safe. I survived my vaccination shot last week. I basically slept the whole time. I got extreme fatigue. That was my side effect. So
look at that.
Can't tell if that's for real.
I know Darrell's got the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just tired. I'm always tired anyway, so I don't know what. I mean, I just was extra tired, so I slept all last weekend. Here we go. Hello, everybody. It's coming in the chat room. This is my #1 show on the network, so let's just pull it together. Okay. All right. So, yes, you're here. I'm not alone. Lacretia Lyon is only one. Frank Moran is only one, I think. Are there other Frank Morans out there, Frank?
No, well, none that are proud of that name. So.
I'm gonna look at some other Frank Moran, see what they're doing. See if they're doing anything. But Lacretia Lyon is one of the ones I've seen, so she's true. So far, I've not seen any others, so she's the only one.
I looked it up.
I looked it up too, girl. I was like, I don't see any others. I mean, you're absolutely right. There aren't any others. I thought I see some like my sisters maybe, but that didn't happen. Okay, so
it would be a sister name.
It would be right, exactly. So I mean, they're not happening. Okay, so folks, here's a little deal for you guys. We're here today. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
On tomorrow.
God's right. Totally. Next Sunday is Easter. I'm actually going to celebrate with my family, so we'll not be here for Easter. So all you non-Catholics, I'm sorry. Happy Passover over to the folks who are Jewish. Happy Passover. But for me, I'm celebrating Easter because last year we couldn't. So this year I'm actually going to with my family who's in town. So sorry, folks, we're doing that next weekend. But we're back the 11th. Say that right now. Oh. And there was an episode missing this week on General Hospital, just so you guys know that. It wasn't nobody's crazy. It was Thursday, also he said encore presentation. Don't even know what that means. Okay. Then earlier today, we had Wine Army Spotlight. Me, Amanda Russ, and Tammy Dockovea talked it all up about Young and the Restless, and it's all its craziness. And who's got the baby? The baby's coming, and all kinds of stuff going on there. And Chelsea, and who's gaslighting, it's all funny. I love her inner monologue. Her inner monologue
know.
Is the best. That's on up. It's out right now. You can find it everywhere here on JLJ Media. And then Lacretia Lyon was all part of Forever and a Day after show today this morning with Matthew Preston, Candace Mack, Mackenzie Bell, and Brett Lawrence. I want to blink all of a sudden. Brett Lawrence. They had a good time talking about Forever and a Day, which is a show that she is on JLJ Media.
I know, I have two chicks fighting over me, guys. Like, it's great. Like, we don't even need men for the triangles on that show. So
you sure don't. You sure don't. So she's on there doing that. We love her on that show. And then Bold and Beautiful mini spotlights out already. Me, Tammy Dockovea, and Amanda Russ again talking about the end of Thomas. That's the end of Thomas. End of Liam and Hope. I don't know. The
for hope's sake, right?
For hope's sake, right? The portrait funny came down at Steffi's. And there's all kinds of craziness going on over there. So we have that out too. So those are all out. And of course, our Blades Edition Days are finishing up their show. They had Steve Blackwood on, who played Bart back in the 90s. He's back now on their show. And that's on Edition Days channel. So go ahead and check them out. So that's all your soapy goodness for today. This is the caboose of the soap world is on right now.
The caboose. Yeah, because of all our big butts. Yeah.
I know. I had to walk in between because I'm trying to lose some weight. I was like, oh, Mike, whose body is that? Is that mine? Okay, so now I'm trying to lose some weight.
Yeah, we bought a punching bag today here because my mom's like, I need a box. Like, that would be better than buying a gun, right? I'm like, yeah, that's exercise. Like,
I still vote for the gun, but that's not a story. So, I mean, people get on my nerves. But we are here. So we're here to talk about General Hospital. There's all kinds. I mean, I have like pages of like notes. I mean, all kinds of stuff going on. There's like all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, shit has hit the fan.
It has. But I want to mention one little storyline that I don't understand. Is this a storyline? I'm not even sure because they're barely on screen. Lucas and Felix. Are
Oh,
they
yeah.
going back to them again after all these years? He chose Brad.
They were flirting, and I like that. I hope we see more because I actually like the new Lucas. I think he's hot. We love Ryan Carnes, but Matt Trudeau is doing a good job. And I really felt like he felt super comfortable in that scene. And it was a cute scene. And I like seeing this, friendship possibly develop with Britt because of the whole Brad thing. I mean, Britt has become, after Valentine and Ava, of course, my favorite character, because she is just, I mean, I've not been this excited about a Jason pairing in a long time, not since Robin. But yeah, I mean, she just makes everyone better. And if we're going to get Lucas and Felix, great, because then that would be time for Brad to pop out of jail.
Yes, I agree. No, Britt actually, she is kind of just like lightening everything up these days. I'm like, she's good in every scene. She's good, but everybody I'm like, okay. I mean, I always kind of like, she was bad. I liked her, but
yeah.
I really like her. I'm like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I know they're going to get back on the show and really use her. I had no idea. You know how that goes sometimes. I was shocked.
Because they especially waste people sometimes like that are like more of the side characters. But I like that we're really investing in Britt and who she is with Maxie. I like that she's the one there with Lulu and Nakoma. It makes way more sense to have Britt, who is sort of her sister. Like she was Nathan's sister. She's related to her children. And it's nice to see this new side of Britt. And I feel like we're just peeling the layers. But I have to say, I do miss the days of when she was going at it with Emma. That was just adorable. You know what? I don't like you either.
Yeah. Well, they say it's been about a year since Lucas broke up from Brad, so it's okay. I had no problem with that part. I'm just thinking, months before he chose Brad over you. So I'm like, you didn't forget that? See, I'm bitter, so I would never forgot that. So no, don't sniff around here now all of a sudden because there are two gay guys left on the show. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, you had your chance. That's just me, Frank. I'm bitter and petty, so I don't know.
Well, no, I mean, I'm all for the pairing, but GH has really given me no evidence that they would give this storyline any sort of attention. We would probably see it like as we're seeing it now, like every 2 months. They have a scene and they pop up together for an episode, and then we advance however far. So before it was just like, oh yeah, hey, I'm not trying to date you. I just want to just hang out as a friend. And now it's like, oh hey, maybe I get you something after the class. So listen, 2 months, we'll see that they've been dating, and then
nothing turns a man on faster than a Lamaze class. Am I right?
That's what I thought, Lacretia. I was like, I'm really turned on right now because of women's parts. Okay, thank you. About that. But Matt Trudeau he's hunky, he's cute. He's like I said again, we love Ryan, friend of the show, we love Ryan, all that stuff. But they recast him, and Ryan's doing fine anyway. He's doing other stuff anyway. He's doing good. But and then we love seeing more of Mark Anthony Samuel. We love him. So I mean, I'm between both of you guys. I'm like, I don't mind the pairing, of course, but I want to see them show them more. But I just thought that was out of nowhere. I was like, oh, they're doing something. Okay, it's kind of there. So interesting. And then I just want to mention also, that was a little small one I want to mention. And somebody keeps thinking that Gladys is going to die soon. Also, we got all this Gladys stuff all of a sudden with Brando.
I feel like that's what they're setting up is, I mean, I actually do enjoy the character of Gladys because I enjoy anybody who comes at Carly like she does and just messing with her as much as I love Carly. It's one of those things that I love a good foil, and Gladys is that. Like, she says what she thinks. She's totally inappropriate. It's funny because as dumb as the whole Corbin family that shouldn't exist because that wasn't Mike said, like all that dumb stuff aside, I do enjoy her when she's on because she's the worst and in a funny way.
I agree.
But yeah, of course she'll die. Yeah.
Sorry, what do you think?
Yeah, it's I mean, nice little twist that she's the one that supposedly saw Jason. I'm like, oh, all right, it's a good deal.
I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't see that coming. Okay, I didn't see that coming. I was like, oh, okay. Obviously, Cyrus is behind it. Obviously, he's probably paying her something to do whatever he needs to do for her. But it's like, oh. She's like, I'm upset at Jason. I'm like, okay.
No, but I feel like Cyrus is just. it's frustrating with Cyrus because I feel like they write him too coy sometimes with this constant like, oh no, what? No, I would never. No, you're wrong. It's just, sometimes, hey man, just cut to it. Have that moment of just being direct and saying what you mean, say what you want. It gets a little annoying sometimes.
Well, he does.
I did love all his evil smiles, though. Like when yep, that's exactly what's going on.
Yes, and he did. He's not pulling any punches. He's mad at Jackie. He's gonna get. He exposed that secret, didn't he? I mean, Peter and they're all mad at Jackie. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he switched those tests, right? Like, the way they played that's why, as I may have said on my own podcast, all the people who were just like, oh yeah, this storyline nobody cares about, like, okay, that may be true, may not be true, but some of y'all didn't even notice that little bit because you were too busy bitching about that and Peter. So like sometimes the show is doing a good job of giving in these little layers. You just gotta get over some of the stuff, sadly.
But the thing with that is like, okay, I can understand him, if he wants to sweat, to get a little payback to Jackie and swap the test results. But how do you even know that was what the test was about? I mean, if Finn just turned in, nobody else knew except Finn and Jackie what the deal was. So how would he know that Finn got a test, and let alone what the test was about?
Well, they were yelling in the audience, like they were yelling in the lobby. Like that was the thing, is Cyrus overheard them talking. And to me, like they weren't, to be a big secret, they weren't very quiet about it. So that was me. I was like, there was that whole scene where they were yelling at each other about it. And so of course Cyrus is like, something's up here. Okay. I'm going to have fun because Jackie wrote a bad story about me because I love my mommy.
Yeah, it's that storyline actually is kind of, it's unfolded. Everybody knows what's going on. Chase is running around town talking to everybody about it. He runs to see Willow, then he runs to see Michael, but he's looking for Willow. He talks to him. I'm like, okay, that's fine, I guess. We'll see how this, plays out, I guess. What's going on there? I'm trying to mention some of these smaller things. I did like that Real Andrews was back as Taggart.
Yeah.
He gave back some continuity, getting back to like when they were, because Trina's forgetting everybody. Frank, you forgave everybody. She forgave everybody. She forgave Curtis. She forgave Portia. She was wrong. She said.
Great, fantastic. I had long become tired of the trope of Trina just getting mad at Curtis every time she saw him. So I was long tired of that. So
it's done now. It's done.
Yeah. And I almost feel like that was sort of them putting to bed the idea that she could be Curtis's too, because I feel like we've had too many paternity switches and we may be having another baby switch that they seem to be setting up. So I feel like that was put to bed there. And I like that because let's face it, I love the relationship that Taggart and Trina have. And now that Taggart is alive, let's see more of that because we love Real. I want to see more him and Sonny when Sonny comes back because I think they're fun, but I do enjoy him and Jason as well.
They're like the real Taggart has returned. Yes. Huge crush on Real Andrews. Yes. He's back. Nice guy. He's back. So yeah, so I'm glad he's back. I want to see that. And also I like Portia and I know it's I knew it was coming. I like them kind of getting closer. I kind of like that.
Well, he brings out a smile in her. Yeah, Portia's a good, strong woman character that I really like. I like that she is not afraid of Cyrus. She says what she thinks, but she's also like a good person, like with Jordan and stuff. Like she could have totally written her off and all this, but no, she's trying to be a friend to her as well. So it's nice to see these moments of Portia having a nice thing, besides being a mom, besides being a doctor, besides being everybody's talked to, she's going to get her some Curtis.
As she should. I co-sign that idea, as all you know. But Frank, how do you think about this Curtis getting a nightclub? Is that a little too cheese, or is that good?
It was interesting. It's like clearly they're not going to give Curtis this new job and location and set this all up if it's not going to come into play later. But it is interesting why, like, oh yeah, let's just have Curtis now, just ditch everything and just become a nightclub owner. I guess Mac had the Outback, so I guess, Curtis can have whatever this club is going to be.
I have a feeling a mob shootout is coming.
Oh, yeah.
Or he's going to be pressured to run drugs through there for
Yeah,
Cyrus.
just something. I agree.
And I mean, Curtis is going to struggle with addiction, I guess. Maybe he's tempted by the drugs. Who knows?
Yeah, it's the club scene. Like, and this is where I'll say that maybe they are setting up Curtis to slip into that, because this seems to be a story that they at least can tell well. Like, I will say with Dan and Chris, the way that they've done Alexis's addiction this time around is much better than it was the first time around. It's a little bit more in depth, and you're seeing these AA meetings, and there was a reason other than the obvious that we saw Curtis and we saw Monica, and we're having more of Curtis in that conversation, and then him getting a nightclub. It's only sort of setting up for him to possibly relapse. But hey, maybe if things don't work out with Portia, maybe him and Alexis.
They also have a chance with Curtis.
It was interesting that nobody has mentioned that to Curtis, though. It's like, is this really the best move given your past to open up a nightclub? I mean, nobody ever wants to assume that it's going to become a big drug den, but there are, if you run in a club, there are larger things to think about.
Yeah, my dad worked in a nightclub most of his life. Guess what, guys? There are drugs everywhere. I mean, what do you think people do at a nightclub? Like,
I dance. Dance at nightclubs.
Yeah, but you take dance enhancers?
Everything I did was before social media. I'll never tell. But yes, I think Lacretia's onto something. No, it's what's funny because I feel like they built this whole set. Everything it's obviously or something. And you're right. In the past, they had Luke's Disco. They had other, but they've always had places over the years. But I have a feeling it's this whole mob thing too. You're right. It's gonna be drugs, something, or a mob shooting or something. Something's gonna happen there, and it's gonna be like this big thing. And because the Outback's out because it got burned down or it got exploded. They need another location, I guess. So folks can come eat there. They probably have bar food or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a club. It's not like the Floating Rib that was like, a restaurant that apparently kids started coming to before they blew up. Like,
yes.
Well, I mean, you've already got Cameron playing music there, so we're already setting the bar low. Like, kids can get by and just jam out on their guitar when they need to.
He's almost 18.
Right. Yeah. And it was adorable. I like the idea of the musical acts because, I mean, we know my sad piano man could get a time there.
Yes, he could. Valens, he could do it. I mean, that's the thing. They can also funnel through like One Night to Live used to do. There you go. I'm so much.
Oh, yeah.
They used to have
because One Night to Live had, yeah. Because I remember, like, Antonio would always introduce them because he owned the club. Yes. And there was Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg knew Bo Buchanan. I loved that. Like,
he did. They were good. They were good friends. That's what they were. Good friends.
That
was the whole funny thing. I was like,
that's what it can't be. I just know you, but we're also really good friends. Such good friends that we've never talked about each other before. But yeah, we're really good friends.
Bo was a man of few words, so him mentioning that he was friends with Snoop Dogg, that tracked. But like Nelly Furtado, they got some like decent acts on One Night to Live for that. Yeah.
I did. So I'm saying this could be something also again they could do. They could do some musical things. So, but I was just like, I don't know how I feel about it yet, folks. I'm still chewing on it. I'm just kind of like, give the black man a club. I mean, he went through something else. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about that.
Well, to me, when we have Sam and Spinelli as PIs, like, do we need Curtis as a PI? I did at least understand the move to where it's like, yeah, Curtis has done some stuff, but they at least have him have a logical reason for wanting to do something else.
Yeah, you know what? But if I had to choose a PI in Port Charles, I would pick Curtis over Spinelli and Sam any day.
I mean, I think we all would, but...
Yeah, we would.
Yeah.
No, we love Spinelli, of course, but I would.
Yeah, I love Spinelli too. But hopefully this is the road to him and Maxie getting back together.
Wait, do you think they'll do that?
Well, I'm sorry. I was always against the Ellie Spinelli thing just because it's like, no, I love Spixie. They're adorable. That's Maxie's best pairing by far. Sorry, Nathan. They're adorable. They have Georgie together. Why don't we just do that? Like, why do we just have to have Georgie, or we have to have Ellie off screen and talk about this marriage that no one cares about. We want Maxie and Spinelli back together. I'm sorry. It's just the way that it should be. Kirsten Storms wants it. Bradford Anderson wants it. Let's just make that happen.
I met Bradford Anderson once at a wine place on Sunset and Vine.
Oh.
We were both there's a wine place right on the Long Prix, right a little south of it, and we both were shopping for wine.
Nice.
And I was like, I said, "You're Bradford Anderson." And he's like, "Yes, I am."
I'm trying to think of the name. It's right across from Bristol Farms, right?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm sorry, Frank. What did you say, Frank?
I said that was a great conversation, and then you guys just went your separate ways.
I mean, there's a little more said than that, but it's like I stopped it right there.
Mm-hmm.
None of your business what we talked about. No. No, but he looked the same in person. But yeah, it's right over there. Yeah, it's right over there. And I went in to get a bottle of wine. He was trying to find a bottle of wine too. We're on the same aisle. Put Maxie with Chase, they're saying.
I'm sorry, we're opening up for Chase and Brooklyn, right? Let's just let that happen. They're adorable because I love how. Yeah. I was just gonna say I love Brooklyn and how she brings out the best in Chase and Michael, and unfortunately, she's related to Michael. So, I mean, it just works with them because both a little stick up their butt sometimes, and they have such cute smiles and they have such personality. Let's bring someone who brings out the best in them, and that's Brooklyn.
Okay, folks.
Yes,
is she pregnant?
See, I kind of thought she was, but they've had a few things that sort of indicate that maybe she's not really pregnant.
I know,
there's
so
a
weird.
lot of weird things, but I almost felt like they were setting up for Maxie and Peter's baby to die and for this baby to be switched with it. But they've really sort of kind of made you believe that maybe this is all a ruse. But it's funny because they act like they're really pulling one over on Valentine, but he obviously doesn't care that much about ELQ because he was already willing to give up Proxy to Michael so that Nina could see Wiley. It's like a lot of these beats are a little odd, and it may be because, I mean, at least there's been a few shifts in some storylines. As much as you guys love to complain, they really have tried to wrap up a lot of stuff that isn't working. They just had to work with schedules and with people wanting vacations or people wanting to be gone. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, certainly, seeing her so reluctant to, get a doctor when she's talking to Maxie and Brooklyn. Yes, I could see why this could be a fake, but it would also seem weird to, I don't know why she would think that a fake baby would be the way to get back ELQ.
Well, I heard another rumor. They're going to switch the babies. So each of the fathers can't get custody. They'll do a DNA test on how each of their fathers isn't the father. I've heard that.
Yeah, I feel like this was setting up some
there's something going on.
Yeah, that there is going to be a baby switch, but I don't know who's going to be involved. But I was sort of thinking, because as much as nobody wants there to be a Peter baby, I don't think it's going to live. And because, I mean, trust me, guys, I think they understand what's wrong there, and they're doing their best to rectify the situation. That's all I can say. So it wouldn't surprise me if Maxie's baby doesn't live, because let's face it, she's already got 2 kids.
It does.
Well, true. Because I'm also thinking, while as intriguing as a dual baby swap, with a double paternity tests and a way to get out of that could be interesting, but it'd also be weird, especially for Maxie to tell Peter oh yeah, really, I slept with somebody else while I was with you. You didn't know. I mean,
yeah, that doesn't make sense. But
no, and then Brooklyn's. I mean, I feel like there's enough people in Port Charles that were around her around that time that would be able to know, no, that's not true. I mean, Chase would be around. It's no, I know you weren't doing anything. So it seemed like that would be a tough one to pull off to convince the baby daddies that oh no, these aren't really your kids.
I think it's so weird. I'm just saying, for me, I say the rumors I heard. I think for me, I just thought she's pregnant. She slept with Valentine. Makes sense to me. And so I'm saying, but they are playing it a little bit. And then in the Moth's class, which she was really cagey. It's no, I'm okay. And I mean, her and Maxie aren't best buddies, but the fact they were throwing them together in these scenes, I'm there's a reason why they're doing that.
Yeah, I will just say that they're doing a good job of keeping this under wraps too, because I know that the intention initially was to have Brooklyn pregnant with Valentine's kid and that to come into play with ELQ. I mean, that was even in some of the earlier spoilers, but because of COVID and Amanda being gone, because she was actually pregnant, like they were writing that into the show. But because now so much time has passed and she's back, it's like maybe they decided to go another direction, and but I do feel like Maxie's baby ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, with the ELQ, I mean, it's an interesting angle, but I felt like we haven't seen any ramifications of Valentine's control of ELQ, good or bad, and it hasn't been really played up as except for the occasional, oh yeah, Valentine's got control, but very rarely touched on since it really happened. So it's tough to say like, yeah, is Valentine doing awesome at the company? Is he doing terrible? There's not. I feel like there's not enough setup for like the fate of ELQ to that if they wanted to go this direction, at least as of now, that I'd be like, oh yeah, that's a real good reason for the storyline to be happening.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like some of this has changed direction, because I feel like initially with the Brooklyn sleeping with him and possibly being pregnant, that storyline was sort of going on of him getting the company, and that was why she's getting back at daddy, all of this. But too much time has passed to where it's like, yeah, I mean, ALQ's probably doing okay. Like Valentine's got other stuff to deal with Anna and Peter, and there's so much else going on that it's nice to see a Quartermain fronted story, and the ELQ stuff would be great, but they've not set it up enough for this to maybe be like what they're going. That this is probably another red herring, just like her seeming like, is this real or is it not real? Like, what's going on?
It could be. I agree with you guys. I mean, I just think I just thought my thing was like she just seemed like she was looking weird. Like, why are you weird for? It's kind of weird. What's going on? But Peter has gone full obsessive now, which I don't mind. This Peter, I can handle a villain Peter. This is good for me. I could take a Faison light, diet Faison Junior. I'll take that. That's fine with me. That he started going to his baser instincts of being dark. I'll take it. I'm in.
Yeah. To me, this is setting up Peter's exit, guys. He shot Franco and left him in cold blood, is framing Jason for it with Cyrus's help. He's getting under Cyrus's thumb. We are looking for the death of Peter, guys. This is what's going to happen, I bet, just because they wrote him into a corner, and because people have been talking about it, it is what it is. And yeah, I don't mind him being evil. Like, that's sort of who we all thought he was. And when you don't have Anna and you don't have Valentine on your side anymore, and now you don't have Maxie either, or Britt, you got nobody. And this is what do cornered dogs do? They start snapping back. I mean, we're going to see probably a much darker turn there, but it sort of works for what we've all kind of wanted the character to be at this point. I mean, as much as I know some people just don't want him on there at all, this is what he's under contract, so we got to write him somewhere, and making him a bad guy, full-on bad guy, works.
I can see him transitioning to be, a new Jerry Jacks, a new Cesar Faison, where he's not necessarily killed at the end of all this, but he just goes away for a while, and then they can bring him back, from time to time to really stir up a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just like Faison was. I mean, and that's sort of, it's like, okay, Faison light, that works. We're good.
I guess I can see that. Definitely.
Because it really wasn't until because he's been like such a chump in a lot of this stuff, but I felt like to have like Britt go to Jason and really explain, just how dangerous Peter can be. I was like, oh, all right, I'm glad they had that scene to really paint it, because I feel like Peter's too much of a chump. But Britt really kind of, I felt, established like, yeah, this is why Peter is dangerous.
But he didn't. I mean, I wish Dante shot him.
Oh,
yeah.
But Sam stopped it. Sam had to stop it.
Yeah. Oh, Sam. I mean,
yes.
I feel like I shouldn't comment on a lot of this story, but I will just say that it's like I almost at least appreciate that was sort of the end of the Dante, question. What is it? Programming with the clicking. Yeah, because that would have worked if we were going to really go somewhere with it, but I think there's been a few shifts and with actor availability and everything that it's like, yeah, like let's just get Dante back to being Dante and move on. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. They are wrapping certain stuff up and going another direction.
That was fast. I mean, also when Anna was explaining, so like, oh, well, I guess we're done with that. Okay. You know, that's I'm like, okay, I was happy too. I was like, okay. I thought about Frank the mission. Let's complete the mission. So now that's done, Frank. We're missing.
No, I know it was so weird because I felt like, did I miss something? Because all it was is just all of a sudden Anna's hanging out in Kevin's office with Dante saying, boy, I haven't pulled an all-nighter in a long time. Well, we're all good. I'm like, huh? Wow. All right.
It's like, that's it. Click of the pen and we're done.
That's it. I know. I was like, that's it. I was like, okay. So I'm like you guys. I'm glad they are wrapping it up. I think it's good, and but they're setting up him and Sam, aren't they?
Please
oh
no.
yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. Could they be more obvious? Yeah. I mean,
I know.
How do I say this? For all the complaining some of y'all do about how certain things that happen behind the scenes get preferential treatment, just know that just because some people are public don't mean some people are private. But like, yeah, certain things are transpiring where it's like, yeah, this is very obvious, like what they're going with.
Sorry, Frank. They're doing it. I think they're it's I mean, you're so good to him. You've been so great to him, my son. They're setting it all up. They're setting it all up.
I mean, it's like I feel like the biggest thing is depending on whatever plans they have for Lulu's character. Because I mean, I feel like it's just another reprise of the Rob, the Patrick and Sam.
Yeah, Patrick and Sam.
Built it all up, and then and just as they're ready to get together, all of a sudden Lulu's awake. So it's like, why are we going to this speed again? Man.
I mean, yeah, well, that's all I'll say. They're doing it, and sadly, we just it's gonna happen. But hopefully, we have Lulu soon. That's all I gotta say.
Are they called Sante or Damn?
I would just say Sante. I like Damn, but that would be more like a damn. Like we're excited about this. I ain't excited about this, guys. Like,
yes, but going that direction, folks.
It'll be interesting because I mean, Dante's like having so much regret that he let so much time pass, that he went away, that he wasn't with Lulu. So now Lulu's in a coma. I can understand for Lulu moving on because I mean, Dante said, "Hey, we're done. Forget it." So even as much as she wanted, she knew there was no future. So it feels weird, like to see how they will develop the Sam and Dante thing and get Dante to like, yeah, I know Lulu, who I love, and I regretted, not spending time with her. Even though she's in a coma, I'm ready to move on with Sam.
Well, to be fair, Frank, I believe it was you that thought that Sam believed she had a golden vagina that would magically bring Jason's memory back. So this may be what she thinks here is like her golden vagina will somehow magically make Dante not love Lulu anymore. I don't know. I'm just, yeah. I was like, I'm just going with what you said before, like a long time ago on AfterBuzz. It's like, oh, Sam thinks you're so great. Yeah. I feel like sadly, that's where this is going.
Because folks were like Dante and Maxie better.
Oh yeah, Dante and Maxie have so much chemistry. It's so much more soapy. It is a way better direction to go, especially with all of what's going on. But God forbid we get a good storyline on that because, and again, that's all I will say. It's just a matter of, yes, obviously that would be the better direction, but this is the direction we're getting. And yeah, it's just, because Sam doesn't have a storyline without a man.
Ugh, so frustrating. But I also feel like how rarely, and I don't know if maybe you guys know, because I can't think of one, anytime that somebody, a significant other's been taken off the canvas and that person has moved on to another relationship. When that significant other comes back, that the person says, oh yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm already in love with this other person. I'm not going to go back to you. It's always they end up going back to the significant other, even if it takes a while. So it's like, if they would love to say, it's like Lulu woke up and she said, and Dante said, sorry, I'm with Sam and that's it. Deuces. That'd be great. That'd be great. But it never happens.
Yeah, I know. And again, Dante and Sam, there's just so many reasons not to go there. It's unbelievable that this is the direction they're going.
But see, Sam walked in on Britt and Jason holding hands in jail.
I loved that moment. It was just like, ooh, good. Because again, what I wanted for Sam, for as much as I don't like this character, it would have been great for her to leave Jason and take the kids and leave town. Or if she was going to stay in town, be a fucking adult woman who doesn't need a man. But that's why this rush with this Dante, it's like, yep, you're just proving you aren't complete without a man. And there are like your mother, Alexis Davis, has been without a man long, long ago. Now, because she's killed half of them, or at least led to their death, but whatever. It's like, this is somebody who is so hard to believe she's Alexis's daughter. She's definitely her father's daughter. Because Christina certainly don't need a man. And then Molly, like her little thing with TJ is cute, but she's an independent woman. And it's like, this is so gross to me. But this is apparently what fans of Sam want too. Like I see it all online and I'm like, ugh, next.
I love it. That's so funny. Yeah. Yes. But in the middle of all of that, we had a very nice Anna Valentine moment as they're setting that up too.
Thank God.
No, I love Nina. I'll always have a shoulder for you. He was very romantic the way he said it. And she was like, it was good. It was cute. It was good. They're an odd pair. They were smiling. We're a pair, aren't we? There's something about them. I like them together.
Well, yeah, and they were setting this up from the get-go is that Valentine has always been in love with Anna. Right. And the reason that he gave Peter away was to punish her, who he thought had betrayed him, but it was her sister. And he was the one to be like, of course it was Alex. That's not you. Because he's seen this other part of Anna that is the woman that he was in love with. And it's so nice to sort of see this first love storyline play out well. And because, again, this is another person. Leave him alone, Nina. Like, he deserves better. I love this Nina and Sunny direction, and I'm glad we're finally getting a better direction with Nina. But that man is the sexiest man on the show. He deserves to be with more than Nina Reeves, okay? And his first love, Anna, who is better? I mean, except maybe me, but okay. Anna Devane, definitely a close second. I gotcha. But and I love the way they've set it up. And I love that they set it up even with Finn being jealous of him, because Anna is vulnerable with Valentine. She is attracted to him because, I mean, she liked him even before he got the plastic surgery as a person. And she sort of feels responsible for his direction, but also you see the man he's become as a father. And that was nice that he was willing to bring her in on his moment with Charlotte there. And she sees this other side to him. And I just love it. And because I'm sorry, Anna Devane is one of the greatest characters on GH of all time. And I love me some Valentine. Let's let this happen.
There are folks who are split. There are folks saying yes, Lacretia, and folks saying no. So they're split, which means a good soap. So gracious of you, Lacretia. It's so funny. I think Lacretia's she's that kind of person. Yeah. And so I kind of like them together. I kind of like they're teasing them together. And even though I did like Finn and Anna together, I don't mind seeing Finn with other people. Even though it was really weird. When I saw him with Elizabeth, I didn't feel chemistry. I thought maybe something could be there with those two. They're friends.
And what do you guys think? That was something that was so obvious from the get-go, because unfortunately, guys, I luckily, or when I say unluckily, knew that Franco was going to die like a month before. And so I was like, well, who are they going to pair Elizabeth with? And they started sprinkling her in with scenes with Finn when they hadn't shared scenes in a while. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That's the direction they're going. But guys, the good thing is, as cute as I think that they will be together, this is only opening the door for Hayden to come back, guys. Like, we could be getting a lot of stuff, a lot of good, something very bad, I think.
Yeah, I'd love for Hayden to come back. And by those cute little moment with those two together. But you brought up Nina. Carly, your buddy, Lacretia, your buddy Carly, just couldn't get her mouth shut.
But it's also like the conversation was so irritating, because that's I have something important to tell you. That it just it's just that conversation was so frustrating.
I saw it coming though. I was like, Nina's good. They have to find a way to get Nina to justify what she's about to do. That's what it was. and Carly running her mouth and threatening. It's like you said, it's so Carly because she got riled up from your girl Ava putting things out there, which is Jax, which I love. I love that Ava's kind of needling her a little bit, and Jax is a chump, so we don't want him. So Carly has to. And actually, a little side note: when Cyrus went to Carly, it was like, "So have I been dealing with you the whole time?" Like he was telling me, he was like, you know, I'm paraphrasing, of course. He basically said, "Bitch, you're not as soft as I think you are. There's something going on with you, bitch. I know you're in this somewhere." That's what he was thinking. But I think when he was trying to get to her, I was like, so people are noticing Carly's, she runs things. She's not, not as dumb as you think. But she ran her mouth, and Nina was like, "That's right, bitch. Goodbye." Click, and it was just like, "I'm gonna keep your man to myself."
Oh yeah. I loved every moment of this because this is what I was looking forward to with the Nina storyline. I think the Nina versus Carly rivalry is great. It's very classic. It's sort of reminiscent of their guiding light days with Cynthia and Laura. Yes. And I love me some crazy bitch Carly, but this is where Nina really shines too. It's like, ooh, she's like real crazy. And Carly's brought up Ferncliff and all this. It's like, okay, Ferncliff, as Ava said. But I love that Ava's sort of fueling the fire. Like, you could be a better person like me. That was so good. Everything about this, because I sort of saw the writing on the wall. Nina's going to find Sonny, and she's not going to tell Carly. But this gave her the moment of she was going to do the right thing. But like you said, this is her justifying not doing it. And it's like, good for her. Because as much as I love Carly, I love to watch Carly fail too. Because Carly runs shit, and that's why I'm like, let's let Carly be the mob boss.
I agree.
The head. Like, she's way better at that than Jason. I agree. Like, Jason's a good number 2. Carly's a good number 1 there, but I loved everything because it's so set up. Because it's like, yep, Carly, if you just shut your mouth for 5 seconds, you'd have your Sonny back. And I love when Nina just immediately went into her crazy mode and was like, yeah, just so you know, you're going to be sleeping alone tonight. And that's all on you. And even Carly's like, that was cryptic and weird.
It was.
But even my mom, who was like not even the biggest fan, is sitting there like, oh, Carly's going to not stop talking and Nina's not going to tell her. Like, you can see this coming from a mile away. But even then, that's why you enjoyed it. Because, again, watching Carly fail is just as fun as watching her win.
Now, folks keep mentioning Nina getting pregnant. Now, I don't want to be insensitive or indelicate. First of all, her character had a hard time getting pregnant in the first place. And secondly, she's of a certain age that, yes, she could, it's medically possible she can. But I don't think that's the storyline that's going to happen. I mean, if they do that, I will start throwing up. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's going to be much more of a maybe she sleeps with him or whatever he falls for her and she gets attached to him. But everybody gets me this pregnancy. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to.
We just did the storyline with Carly, though.
Yeah.
So having
Carly's long in the tooth also. Carly is long in the tooth also. I was like, homegirl should not be getting pregnant. I was like, that's a little, I'm like.
What's funny though is like long before when I was predicting this was what's going to happen with Nina getting with Sonny. This was months ago. I said, look, if anybody can get Nina pregnant, it's Sonny because Sonny gets every woman pregnant. So while this would be funny and it would make sense because it's Sonny's track record. I mean, that guy's he's very virile. Let's just say
he is.
But
I think I'm pregnant.
Yeah. I know we get pregnant just watching those scenes.
Yeah, but I got pregnant, so I was like, yeah, I'm like, sure.
I mean, here's the thing: is to me, it doesn't make sense to give Nina her miracle baby at this point. Making her kid Nell makes perfect sense. That crazy ass apple doesn't fall far from the crazy ass tree. They were cut from the same cloth. Let's keep that because I don't feel like Nina is long for this show. Because again, when we have a powerhouse like Cynthia Watros, these people don't come cheap and they don't typically stick around for more than 3 years or so. And it's one of those things that this may be Nina's exit. Maybe she goes to Ferncliff. Maybe Carly kills her ass. I don't know. But I feel like if anyone could get her pregnant, it's Sonny, yes. But I just really enjoy Sonny in this storyline because it's a little bit more Maurice than Sonny was. This sort of sweet innocence, like smile. And I like that sort of thing with Nina. And it almost puts Nina finally in that position of being the, alpha, and that she is going to be using this situation. So I don't think it'll turn out well, but I do enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I will be curious to see where this storyline goes and how long they're going to draw this out for. I'm sure GH is going to draw it out for far longer and more annoyingly than I would love it to like it to be. But
they're liking a new Mike. They're liking Smike. They're liking him. I don't know. They're liking him. So I mean, I think this will go on for at least, dude. I think to the summer. I don't know anything. I'm gonna say a few more months. I think we'll get closer together. Get closer, and Nina's gonna work it.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna totally work it.
I have to admit, I have lost all sense of time in Port Charles because this stupid meeting of the 5 families. Why hasn't it happened already? It has been talked about for so damn long. That's why we had to have the funeral for Sonny, and it has been weeks and weeks since then. So what is the holdup? Like, it can't be hard to get these 5 families together.
Scheduling, Frank. Like,
yes,
they have so many damn kids probably in their family, all the birthdays, and I don't know.
I went Frank on this storyline as Daisy Flower. But the other thing that people are getting upset about is Elizabeth was automatically thinking Jason did it. Carly, with her giant self, was like screaming over Elizabeth, like, "You're dumb, bitch. Come on. You know him." What do you guys think?
Do people not watch soaps? Like, I think when you watch this show, you're watching soaps and you understand that's the soapiest angle, is for one of her baby daddies to have been the possible killer. And with Liz and all of her shit with Jason, and I'm sorry guys, like the liaison stuff, that passed a long time ago. I love that, even before all this, once she found out Franco even asked him, she was like, at him. So this was something they built up to. So again, you complain so much about them not building up to stuff or not like paying it off, but here they are doing it. Of course, Liz, who's in her grief, thinks that Jason did this because they've been having this conversation for months. That's the stuff that baffles me. I'm like, they set this shit up. Like, really? Like, oh, I don't believe that. And you don't believe Carly would step over the line and do exactly what she complained about Nina doing to her? Carly's the biggest hypocrite on the canvas. And that's a long list. Oh my God, a character acted like the character? Fool.
Well, so Kevin in the chat room goes, this is very specific. I miss old Elizabeth Weber from 1997 through May 2015.
Are we trying to act like those liaison years and the news years weren't her worst? Okay, but Franco, yeah, that was Liz's best with Franco, and I agree. At least like with Ben, I kind of see it being similar. But
well, the thing is, everybody should know. Everybody's saying it, and she knows this. Jason's not that sloppy. He's not sloppy. Even Lauren believes Jason didn't do it. So it's like, but you're right. She's in her grief. Cameron's feeling it. I totally get it. I mean, I think now, did we enjoy Chad Brannon back in Xander for a couple episodes where the ghost of father passed?
It was nice to see him, and I like that Cameron was talking to him, and like that's sort of where this started with Cameron without a dad, and Franco was there, and I like that it was like that conversation of Franco was the father that Cameron always wanted, and it's sad that he's lost yet another one. But where do we go from here? And it would have been nice to see Chad Brannon get another role in the show, but who knows? Maybe that is in the future.
Well, it's very interesting.
Yeah, tell us how you really feel, James.
Yeah. And then we got, which I do like this storyline. I wish it'd go even further. When Peter went off on Olivia a little bit and was going off and Valentine was there, and Valentine said, "You talk to Olivia that way." So I was like, "Ooh, all righty." He just stood up, and because Valentine was just like, "Why bring Valentine and Olivia together?" I was like, "Oh, okay, it made sense in a sense," and it was a stretch a little bit because they don't really do anything together. It was like, oh, "Okay, you're Brooklyn Scott, your stepmother. You also had Julie and Jerome," so he kind of brought that in. I was like, "Okay, I kind of get where they're going a little with that." But when Peter came in huffing and puffing, and Valentine was like, "Oh, no, MFR, you're not going to be talking to her like that," and jumped up. That's how she found about Dante, at the hospital. I thought, but first I was like, why are they together? But I was like, oh, okay, kind of makes sense. But Oh yeah, is it gonna be a big showdown between Valentine and Peter at some point? That's not gonna happen. I mean, what's going on there?
I did like that the Valentine just, I mean, it's like, hey, you can't keep throwing the Phazon thing in my face. Yes, I did that, but you've got to also own up to your own actions as well. So I like that Valentine kind of like, yes, I did it, but that's not your get out of jail free excuse for your whole life.
Yeah, and that's what I like is that Valentine has always felt guilty about that, and Peter thought he could still play that card, and Valentine was like, "No, bitch, I ain't having it. I'm over your ass. Like, you're a grown ass man. You take responsibility for your actions." And yeah, I mean, again, guys, I mean, some of y'all are just realizing Valentine's the hottest man on the show. Again, don't know where you've been, but now that you're here, yeah, that was a real man standing up. And I know Olivia care of yourself, but like, let's face it, Valentine tends to like that, except Nina. But let's face it, like Anna Devane, Olivia's her own woman, and I like that he was there to be strong, but she was just like cool, because she sort of had that good conversation with him about Brooklyn and the baby, and she sort of saw his point of view, and he talked to her like an adult, and they had this conversation about parenthood. And it was interesting, and both of them have so much chemistry with everyone, Lisa and James Patrick Stewart, of course. So that's something I'm not opposed to. If we don't, like, I want Vanna, Valentine deserves Anna, like vice versa, all about that. But I liked the chemistry there. And if we're going to start playing, it would be interesting to see if they go there at some point, because Olivia's a woman that I could see him with.
It's very interesting putting them together because they're not together very often. I'm like, Sometimes I know sometimes they put people just scenes together, kind of test it out and see what kind of looks like on camera. But it made sense in a sense. I mean, it was exposition and moved other things along. But just show Peter just going off everybody. So that was kind of good too.
And it looks like they're Kim testing a lot of people too, because they've shook up a lot of the pairings. And I'm with Michael B. Bring back Rick for Liz. Oh yes, when Hayden comes back after she gets a little bit of Dr. Fenn. Like I'm always for more Rick. And I hate to say it though, it's like, as much as I complain about this with Sam, that is a lot of Liz's problem too, is that these characters are sort of subject to their pairings. And I do wish I could name more than a few storylines where they were the leads in it. And I do agree that Liz should be the lead in this Franco's death, but I'm okay with it being Cameron. It's some of the other stuff that's a little like, but we've got this great young actor in William Lipton. Let's give him his Emmy reel. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, he's earning it.
Yes. And there's a Frank.
I just want to know, especially how much did you guys cry during Anna and Finn's breakup scene?
No tears were shed here, but it was good. It was a sensitive scene. It was a sensitive scene.
Because I feel. Oh, go ahead, Frank.
Go for it, Lacretia.
I was just going to say, I feel like Anna and Finn both are more upset about the loss of the family that they were developing with Violet than really their romantic feelings for one another. And I felt like, being who they both are, it made sense. Because they're not those people that are all up into the lovey-dovey crap and this big romantic gestures. That is often kind of a little bit much with certain people. But it's one of those that felt really real, at least.
Yeah, I mean, again, I felt like it had been drug out for so long that, I'd lost any kind of like real emotional, heart-wrenching bits during that realistic kind of breakup. I'm like, okay, fine. Thank you. See you guys later.
Right. I did like the Anna Jordan dinner. That was fun.
Oh yeah, I like that they've remembered they are friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fun. That's fun about their mothers and how where they are right now. Oh, I like that. I like those. That was very cool. I'm glad they're doing that. They have to mix that in sometimes. I'm glad they mixed that in.
Well, it is when they write Anna really smart is when I truly enjoy that character. And so that moment when Olivia just brought up, it's like, well, was Kirk working alone? Because I mean, he's been dead for a while, so why was it still going on? But I liked Anna just like, hold on a second. You can just see the wheel starting to turn in her head, like, yeah, that's right. And so I'm like, all right, yes, Anna, all right, finally, you yes, please do the things you do very well here, and let's not do some of the stuff that was being really dumb these past few months with Peter.
And at least we had her call that out. Like, I always felt like she felt so guilty, sort of like with Valentine too. They felt so guilty about Peter that they were ignoring a lot of the signs. But once their eyes were lifted, it was like, yeah, screw Peter. He's his father's son.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And it did a 180 very quickly. Like, hey, all right, see
Yeah.
you later.
And of course, with Joss and Trina, they're just all friends with Cameron. There's no love interest going. There's nothing loving going on with those three either. It's like they're all friends. People are
They're
getting upset.
adorable.
A lot of couples happening right now, and love in the afternoon is what it's all about, right? That's the whole big thing about these soaps. I kind of like that in some of everybody's just kind of moving around, and they're all kind of moving around. And we're seeing, like I said, we're seeing a lot more Sam and Max together. We never saw Sam and Max together. I know it's because Dante was there too. I mean, Spelly was there or whatever they were, so they had to bring it together. But it's still we're seeing it.
It's nice to see that they've remembered more of the friendships, because even some of the new stuff, like with Valentine and with Marty there, like,
yes.
and I like him developing this relationship with Laura and her wanting to know more about him. And like with Anna and Jordan, and with Maxie and Sam, and with Britt and Maxie, you see, because of COVID, where they're not, with Days they're doing kissing, but GH hasn't okayed that yet. So I feel like that was kind of a smart move, where they sort of reinvested in Kim testing or working with friendships more. Because like that Olivia and Valentine scene, you're like, I wasn't even thinking about that, but being as they both are in this position with Brooklyn and with the ELQ and this sort of, outsider perspective, that did make sense. And let's see how they have this chemistry, because that's how soaps used to do. They would do these chem tests, and if it had a good response, they might go that direction.
Right. And friendships are important on soaps.
Yeah, sure.
They can drive story or soften a story or whatever. I mean, I think it totally can happen that way.
Well, I thought that was one of the best things that happened to Valentine, was to really build up a lot of the friendships, because that really, I feel like, helps make that character more well-rounded than just the stuff that was with Nina constantly.
Yeah, they had him regaled to just being with her, and it really hurt the character sort of expanding more in the canvas. But now that he has shown himself outside of Nina and outside of Charlotte, and not just going at it with Lulu all the time about the custody, it's like, this is a whole person who should be here.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Ava and Nina. That's my favorite parts of Nina, is her friendship with Ava.
Very true.
Yeah,
I feel like it brings out the best of them. Now that they've also got Ava in at least for now, a really positive relationship. It's like, all right, it's great to see Ava, to see more sides of Ava than the stuff that we usually get, the more duplicitous and vindictive side.
Agree, platonic friendships and brotherly love and sisterhood friendships should be presented more on GH again. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. They can drive story. They can, whatever. We like to see those. And for me, I didn't care for the new. I admitted it before a long time ago, the new Jordan, but now I like her. So I'm glad that they're kind of showing her with other people and doing things, and just like, I think it's great.
because I thought she had chemistry with Jason. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. People don't like Ava and Nina friends. I kind of like them as friends too. You're right. It's very unlikely. Mm-hmm. But sometimes that happens. You get over a lot of stuff, and I'm there. I like them together. I like them.
Yeah, I think it is unlikely, but that's why it's interesting. Because after all this shit that both of these women did to one another, I mean, and Carly bringing it up recently, it was like, but this shows how much Ava has grown as a person.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
I just wonder when they're going to kick the gears on this Brit medical malady storyline. Like, I'm tired of the shaky hand. Let's get this test done. Let's get this test done already.
Yeah, because to me, it seems like pretty well set up that she possibly thinks she has Huntington's, at least, because Faison had Huntington's.
Right.
So I do wonder, because that is something that you live with a long time with, sort of slowly digressing. I mean, obviously, they're probably not going to cure Huntington's on the show, But it is interesting to me to see if this is real or if maybe say a Peter or somebody's gaslighting her. That could be a possible thing. It's like, oh, they're making her think this so she stays in line or something like that. I'm like, they could go a lot of directions, and it would give Britt a front burner storyline that's about her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's true. Britt's doing a lot of support work and other stuff. It'd be nice to have her get her own thing going.
yes, but the shaky hands.
Yeah.
All these spirit figures with the shaky hands.
Well, one other thing I want to ask is, especially Lacretia, as you're dialed into the inner workings of GH.
God.
The Alexis storyline of Neil's death, is that just something that is a change in direction and we're letting it go, or is this? I have no idea what the deal is with this whole Neil thing.
Well, as far as what's happening with Alexis, I do know that, like, thank God, they're going to do a special episode for Nancy Lee Grand's 25th anniversary on the show. That is, and I can't wait to see it. I believe it's like the April 7th or 8th. Like, it's coming up pretty soon. But yeah, I do feel like, again, that the Neil thing sort of happened being as Joe Flanagan, like either they couldn't afford him or he wanted to do something else. There was sort of like right out there. But yeah, like we are seeing Alexis sort of want to plead guilty. We're seeing a different path for Alexis. And I do feel like if we're giving Nancy this 25 anniversary episode that looks pretty good, there's only good stuff for Nancy to come, and there's only good stuff for Alexis to come. And at least that's where I hope it's going, because I love Alexis, I love Nancy, and I really want to see them sort of dig themselves out of this hole we've got, because as much as I think as an actor she likes these messy storylines, and I enjoy watching them for the most part, Alexis is a character that I think is necessary on the canvas. Like she's got a lot of ties and has a lot of friends, because to me, again, not to bring up Valentine again, but it's been 5 minutes since I've said it, their friendship is really one of his better parts on the show too, is that they really have this bond. And I like that he's the one that's there for her in this situation, because her kids, they're her kids, they have this different view. Meanwhile, they were friends as an adult, they even thought they were siblings. So I do hope that this is where this is leading, to sort of bring Alexis out of the darkness. And who knows, maybe she kills Peter. I mean, Alexis has killed more people than Carly. I mean,
yeah, she has a lot of people.
I mean, no, that is one of the best things, that anytime Alexis, there's some big moment in Alexis' life, Valentine is there. So it's a big conversation to be had about what Alexis wants to do. Valentine is there. So I like how the show's really done good by building that relationship up.
Well, yeah, they've sort of replaced Jax with him, and that makes total sense, right, guys?
That has, I mean, Jax. I mean, what is he doing on the show? I don't even know what he's doing on the show. Like, I don't even know what his purpose is.
Well, it is a shame, because I do enjoy the character, not necessarily right now because he hasn't been doing anything, but I did enjoy his relationship with Alexis, and certainly, given real world situations, I can understand why, they're not developing that relationship or continuing that relationship. But that's a shame, because I thought that was, back in the day, I enjoyed those scenes of the two of them together.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes things just don't work out that way. And it's really, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's like, look, people change, and this is a job, and these are real people who play these characters. And it is interesting to see how stuff is played out on screen, and where some of the directions have changed based on, backstage or whatever's going on. But I do hope that this leads to certainly better for Alexis, because I think that character, I mean, she's been on here for 25 years straight. And with Jax, as much as we enjoy the character, I'd almost rather see Jerry Jax at this point, because like you, I'm confused as to where Jax is going to go, because without Nina, if he's not going to hook up with Carly again, because I think they were going there and then they went, but who knows, maybe Ingo does live in Hawaii most of the time, and with things opening back up, he's probably not as committed as some of the other people. And again, that's his life. Like, if he wants to go back to Hawaii, I don't blame him.
I don't blame you. I don't blame either. But yeah. And so everybody's like talking here. Jackson involved in Crimson. I think Portia is her birth mother. I think Portia's not Trina's birth mother. I think she's birth mother. I don't think there's any secrets there. I think the father one was where they were leading at first, and they decided.
Yeah.
Jax has been relegated to supporting Josh, listening to Carly complain and begging me to take him back.
Mm-hmm.
That sums it up. That's all he's been doing. He's around. He pops up twice a week or whatever. You're like, oh, okay. I'm just not excited by him anymore.
No, I mean, it's just, I guess it's not where the show is at. I mean, I suppose like in the 90s and the early 2000s, I mean, it was when ELQ had a little bit more focus on them and the corporate stuff. Yeah, Jax was great, but it just doesn't have that kind of focus right now. So like Jax has really got no purpose on here other than just supporting other people.
Yeah.
But like, there's no real like Jax motivational storyline, which is a shame. If like you're gonna have him around, give him something to do.
I agree. I totally agree. Do you miss any storylines? Did I catch everything? I think I caught everything.
I'll just say it was good to see Jake and Aiden for the funeral.
Okay, yes, for the funeral.
They got so big. They were adorable, though. It's like, oh my God, they've grown so much. And little Charlotte too. Yeah.
Yes, Charlotte. Oh my God! And they've been seeing them in a while. They're growing up. They are growing up. The little kids are all cute. Even if the girl plays Violet, they're all cute.
Adorable. Yeah.
I love that Charlotte was not happy about having a baby at first. She was like, "Excuse me." Rocco comes from my mom. And like that's all of the story. But you're my dad. I was like, "Go girl."
I liked that because that very much was a little daddy's girl, and that's what Charlotte, like little Scarlett Fernandez, who plays her, is such a good actress. I was so happy to see her because I'd missed her. And that's an interesting character that kind of like with Spencer and with Emma before her, she's been able to have this personality and sort of be able to be a little bit of a bad girl, even at such a young age. So it's kind of nice to see that character again, and I hope we get more.
Yes, no, she's good. The kids are good. I like the kids. Kids are good. So it was good to see each of them as they're going. We didn't see the actual funeral, but we got to see the art gallery thing. That was very nice. We didn't get a chance to talk about that last time. So it was very nice to see that.
Yeah.
That was very cool. I got a little teary-eyed a little bit.
Oh shit, that broke me. Like when Ava revealed that it was all of Franco's patients, that was his real legacy. Because it's like, yeah, Liz loved the Franco after Franco the artist. And that was such a nice touch. And it really showed Ava cared about Franco too, and she understood where the issues were there when she was wanting him to be back into that art and using that. And that was like, oh, you're such the bigger person here, Ava, and you really did care. This really showed everything about it because that was the Franco that family loved, the Frizz fam.
I tell you, Frizz, we've hated each other, but I came to actually like the coupling before the end. They kill him off. So now I got to wait and see who he is when he comes back.
Yeah, I mean, could be Todd, could be somebody else.
Oh, I hope it's Todd.
I know.
Get the scar ready. Get the scar drawn in. I'm ready. I'm ready for that.
Marlon Wallace does bring up he's waiting for the return of Spencer Cassadine. And I want to ask you guys, because this is something we've talked about on my show, me and Darrell, about Maurice's son Josh is such a good actor. And he does look like he could be Spencer. What do you guys think about him playing Spencer?
I don't know. I mean, my thing is, I've been watching. I follow Nicholas Bechtel online. He's growing up too. He's totally growing up also.
I know.
Oh, wow, he's driving cars and stuff. I think he should be Nicholas. I'm sorry. I just think. I mean, we've watched him. I mean, he's such a good actor. I want to see how he acts now at this age. He was so precocious and good younger. I want to see him now in some little more mature storyline. And if he's good, keep him. If he's not, then bring on Maurice's son.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
go ahead, Frank.
I feel like it'd be great to have Spencer back. I think there's a lot for him to be doing in Port Charles and a lot of connections and a lot of stuff that he could be involved in. So whether it's like Nicholas, whether the show doesn't about the character so much right now or Nicholas isn't available, but whatever the thing is, it would just be nice to have that character back in Port Charles.
Yeah, because he sort of completes the quad. And it's one of those things that if we can get Nicholas, great. If not, I think Josh, he looks the part. I see in Maurice's little videos, he's Kim testing with the girls. He's had Joss on, little Eden McCoy. And then Lynn Salzer, who's Emma, she could be coming back. So I think he's working that angle as well.
I mean, it would be great to have Emma too. I mean, that's the thing with the unfortunate thing with the talented child stars. It so often depends on, them sticking around on the show on whatever their parents within the show are doing. If they're around, great, then you'll see them. But if not, with Robin all the way across the country, it makes it harder to have Emma around. But if she's in college, great, come over to PCU. Let's hang out, live with Anna.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, no, but I wouldn't be opposed to Sunny Sun playing him, but I think we should give Nick a chance first, see how he does, and if he's good, then it's kind of fun watching the kids grow up on there.
It is.
Because I mean, Eden's about to be 18 years old, and I thought we've known Eden since she was like 11. I can't believe I've known you that long. This is crazy. She's a young woman. She's going off to college.
Oh yeah.
It's just like USC. So I'm like, I know her mom, and they're just such nice people. I'm like, I can't believe she's turning 18. Oh my God. These kids
growing up right before
they're making me older. Crazy. So I guess that's everything, you guys. 70 minutes of GH goodness. We do it. We did it. I guess we did it. That's it. We're ending it now. Everybody, we're ending it now. That's it.
Yes.
That's all GH you guys get for this week. GH actually get it. We're here on JLJ Media. Go ahead and like us, subscribe, and comment. Also, thank you to all the GH Facebook groups and Instagram groups who share this also. And thank you, folks, for making the audio version of the show number one also. You guys listen to us or watch us. Maybe you don't want to look at us, but that's fine. However you find us, find us.
And anything we missed, we can pick up next week. So
when Frank's doing the show by himself on Easter. He should be out there looking for eggs with his daughter. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know what Christian's going to do next on Easter. I don't know what she does for Easter, but
Yeah, I mean, my family's not religious, but I mean, I will be visiting my brother and grandparents, so I'm doing something.
Oh yeah, okay, very good. Okay. But yes, folks, we'll be back on the 11th. Don't worry. We're back with bells on and bunny ears or whatever. We'll be back. Lacretia Lyon, of course, do your thing. Where can they find you and your podcasts? Yeah,
since I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet. Is only one. And my podcast, Believe in Soap Operas, which you can find anywhere you can find this one, will be off this next week because big shit is happening. Yep, you know what? I'm just gonna cuss. So be sure to tune in next week. And you may be seeing some stuff on social media as well for some big announcements. So I'm just gonna give all that anticipation.
Oh, interesting. Frank, follow that up, Frank.
I can't. I'm you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Happy Go Jackie. Wow, I got a bag of mixed nuts. All
right.
It's my big thing, guys. That's I got that happening. So yeah.
All right, those are Fair Joes. And I'm James Lott Jr. And you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. sold at James Lott Jr. on social media platforms. And on TikTok, yes, I went viral. I have a video that's at 10 million views. It's a dumb video, but everyone's sharing it apparently about me putting bread in the refrigerator. So if you want to see that, go check it. My whole life's now been boiled down to that. I'm the bread refrigerator guy. And the Neil deGrasse Tyson twin, apparently. So those are what I'm doing now. So go on YouTube and follow me, see what I'm doing. TikTok and see what I'm doing over there, apparently. But thank you, everybody. You guys are so great and wonderful. And thanks for making this show number one on my network. And I will see you all in a couple weeks. We'll see you next time.